Greetings internet! Today let's have a talk about comics. When I was a kid I used to read the Beano, which includes things like Dennis the Menace, but that's more of a kids sketch show compared to what we would traditionally call a comic book. I wasn't really a massive reader as a child, and I never really had anyone to introduce me to the world of the likes of Marvel and DC. I did actually still visit various comic shops, but that was more to buy things like role-playing books or CCGs. That's probably a good thing though, because I tend to be a bit of a hoarder. And so if I'd bought a comic every week since I was 12, I would now have 1,144, and that's only based on one a week, which is probably not what would have happened. So I wouldn't be able to move around my flat due to comics being strewn everywhere, and my parents' attic would probably be full of them as well. So luckily now, as an adult fan of comics, I can just as easily read them on a tablet, which definitely saves on storage space. And Marvel have an excellent system called Marvel Digital Comics Unlimited, where for a mere $60 a year you can have access to their complete back catalogue which they've scanned. So until recent years, most of my comics knowledge has come from the cartoon versions in the 80s and 90s rather than the comics themselves. But I'm in the process of fixing that, and I'm currently trying to read through the entire run of the X-Men, which is quite a lot of comics. So where do I stand in the Marvel versus DC debate, you might ask? And as I'm reading through the X-Men, technically I have read more Marvel, but really the answer is Dark Horse. They're kind of the number 3 in terms of big comics publications. And why are they my favourites, do you ask? Well, because that's where new stories of Buffy the Vampire Slayer are published. And while we're on the subject of Joss Whedon and comics, I should mention my favourite comic of all time, Joss Whedon's Frey, which is a fantastic story about another Slayer hundreds of years in the future. And that's about it for my basic relationship with comics. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again tomorrow.